All right, good morning, eighth grade. Today is Monday, May 11th. Today we're going to look more at relative and two-way tables. And so this is our video reference for today on Monday. So basically, depending on how long this video is, you're going to watch and complete this video if you have access, this sheet here, if you have access to a printer. And then I'll give you some practice to do with the bottle flip challenge that we left off on Friday's Google Hangout. So this is a two-way table about, so I'm almost like a three-way table because it's a 3x2-way table, I guess you could say, because we're looking at 7th, 8th, and 9th graders that can swim or that cannot swim. Okay, so let's go through this together. We'll go all the way up to K, and then we'll see what we'll do with the bottom half, okay? So here goes. The first question is to complete the two-way table. Okay, so to complete the two-way table, pretty much the main part or the survey parts are done. To get these columns here, you just really have to add. So 120 plus 60 is going to be 180. 168 plus 11 is going to be 179. And 172 plus 3 is 175. Okay. And then to get this column here, you're going to add those three numbers up. So you're going to get 180, 179, 175. You'll get 534 in this corner. Okay. So here, to get this column totaled up, you're going to get 60 plus 11, I can do that mentally, is 71 plus 3 is 74. Now, if I'm doing this right, this plus this should equal this. So now I'll add this up, and I'll get 120 plus 168 plus 172. It's 460. And just double check that in my calculator, that 460 plus 74 is that 534. So I know I did that part and everything correct. So there is question A done. So then we got some interpreting. So interpreting is basically answer questions about the data. So according to this, how many students, doesn't matter the grade, need swim lessons. So if you can't swim, you need swim lessons. So it looks like 74 students need swim lessons. How many students are there in the 8th grade? Okay, so 8th grade, not that number, not that number, but that number, 179. Next question, part D. How many of the 7th grade students cannot swim? So I'm going to go to 7th grade students. And how many can't swim? 60. It's a lot of people in 7th grade that can't swim. I don't know why. How many of the 7th, this one's interesting, how many students in 7th and 8th can swim? So 7th and 8th that can swim. Add those two numbers, I'll get 120 plus 168, and I'll get 288. More interpreting here. How many students are there altogether in 7th, 8th, and 9th? So that's basically the total amount of students at the school, or Seaside School is called. Seaside School, everyone should know how to swim if you live by the sea. 534. Okay, then comes creating a two-way table, relative frequency table. So the big thing I was trying to explain on Friday was that you're always dividing by that number. So basically, to get changes into relative frequencies, relative frequency is a type of ratio or percent, really. So basically, I'm always going to do like 120 divided by 534. I'll just go diagonal here. 11 divided by 534. And then the next one, if I do this one, the total here, it's going to be 175 divided by 534. Okay, so, and these usually come out as decimals. So when I do this here, the first one, 120 divided by 534. you get this decimal. And then you move it over 2, and I would round that. Ooh, and then that's a 7. So I would round that to 22.5%. So I'm going to put this as 22.5%. I wish I used a pencil. I didn't. Sorry, it's 22.5. The next one, this is going to take me a little bit, divided by 534 is going to be, move it over 2, just actually, I would say 2.1%. That next one, 175 divided by 534, I would say 32.8%. Okay. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and fill in the rest here. Now I'll kind of do what just the main part, and then the total should just be a matter of adding it up. So here I'm gonna do 168 divided by 534, comes out to 31.5%. Ninth graders that can swim is 172 divided by 534, and that's going to be 32.2%. So then I'll go here, 60, I'll put it here so you can see it. 60 divided by 534 is 11.2%. Okay. All right, and then I just need this one, which is, what am I going to divide to get ninth graders that can't swim? 3 divided by 534. I get, yikes, I moved that over 2 and round that up to 6. That's literally 0.6%, so 0.6. So hopefully I did this right. So now I can just total this all up and it should all, now remember this number right here is usually 100%, but it's like approximately. Remember that symbol means like approximately or similar to 100. So it's almost going to be 100. So let's see what happens here. 22.5 plus 11.2. This is 33.7%. 31.5 plus 2.1. This is 33.6%. Now if I add these columns up, plus 33.7 plus 32.8. Oh, look what I came out to, 100.1. Sounds like, feels like a temperature. 100.1%. So the reason this was over by a tenth of a percent in 100 is because there's rounding that's going on. You know, like these aren't exact percents because you're rounding here. So now let me add going this way. So 22.5, I'm just adding going down, plus 31.5 plus 32.2. This is, so most of the kids can swim, thank God. They go to Seaside, right? Should be able to swim if you go to Seaside. 11.2 plus 2.1 plus 0.6, 13.9% plus 86.2. Yeah, it works. It's exact. So that's your relative frequency table. And then the wording gets weird, okay? So what's the relative frequency of students who are in 8th grade and cannot swim? So sometimes they're not just going to ask you for the relative frequency that's compared to the total, because this table really is just compared to the total. Sometimes you'll ask a relative frequency question where it's comparing a ratio of 2 different things. So what's the relative frequency of students in 8th grade that cannot swim? So let me highlight the numbers you're looking at there. So 8th graders that cannot swim, relative frequency of 8th graders. So 8th graders is, I would say, 179. Then that cannot swim, I would say 11. So really what they're asking is kind of like, what percent of 8th graders can't swim? So when you do today's questions today, like I could have asked that 2 ways. I could have said, what percent of 8th graders can't swim? And you would have done 11 divided by 179. Or what relative frequency of students that are in 8th graders cannot swim? So wording gets a little tricky here. So to get this answer, I'm going to do 11 divided by 179. And I get, so most 8th graders can swim, because then I get this number, move the decimal over. We're going to erase this here. So it's 6.1%. Okay. Again, so now we're getting back into wording again. So the next one is, what percent of 9th graders can swim? What percent of 9th graders? See, it makes me think about the other one if I did it right. What is the relative frequency of students? And this is what I have to do, and you should do too when you're doing these questions. Sometimes you got to read it more than once. So I just want to read this one more time. What is the relative frequency of students in 8th grade that cannot swim? Students in 8th grade that cannot swim. Relative frequency of students in 8th grade that cannot swim. Now I feel like I'm going back. Relative frequency of students in 8th grade that cannot swim. You know what? That wasn't, I just said, it didn't say relative frequency of students in 8th grade that cannot swim to the total number of 8th graders. So you know what? My bad. I wish I could rewind that and redo that part. I think I'm just going to go with, I think I'm just going to go with this number. I don't think I had to do any of that dividing junk. So I'm going to change this answer to just 2.1. It wasn't specific on what to compare it to, so I think that answer is just 2.1 there. But now the next one, okay, so again, letter H is 2.1. So now we're going to go a little bit more specific with percentages. So what's the percentage of 9th graders that can swim? Of 9th graders, there's 175 that can swim. A lot of them, 172. So you're going to divide that in your calculator. You get 98.3%. Oops, sorry, that's not how you write 98. 98.3%. What percentage of students cannot swim? So now just students in general that cannot swim. So what percentage of students cannot swim? So 74 out of 534 can't swim. So I'm going to write 74 divided by 534. And that equals 13.9%. Okay. And then what percentage of the students are just 9th graders? So let's look at this, and maybe you can pause for a second. So to get the percentage of 9th graders, what would you divide? Percentage of 9th graders in this school. Hopefully you said you'd take 175 divided by 534, which you kind of already did here to get that number. So, but I'll just write it down so you know. 175 divided by 534. 175 divided by 534. And I got 32.8%. Okay. So again, I apologize. My main mistake in this part of the video was relative frequency of students in 8th graders that cannot swim. 8th graders that cannot swim, relative frequency. It wasn't specific to compare it to anything else. Should have just been 2.1%. Okay, so this video reference is going a little long, but I want to at least start part of this. And we're not going to do the actual relative frequency table here, okay? So complete the table. So this is what I was talking about on Friday to some classes, that sometimes they'll give you parts of the table where parts are blank and you have to finish the rest. So we're looking at boys and girls that always wear glasses, sometimes wear glasses, and never wear their glasses. So if you look, you can use what they give you to figure out different parts. So the first thing I see, there's so many different ways to look at this. I see these numbers, and these numbers can add up to be these numbers. So I'm going to do 40 plus 36. Get, put it in red here, 76. And then 161 plus 144 is 305. Okay. Does anyone see another set of numbers I can add to get a total? Yeah, I was thinking these three numbers going this way, 1, 2, and 3. I'll put that answer in blue, so that would be 36 plus 55 plus 144. So that's 235 here. Okay. What else can I add up, and what else can I figure out? Let's see. Okay. So I need to get. Aha! I knew there's always sometimes there's something I was missing. It said the principal of a school of 484 students. So where should that 484 go? That's a huge, excuse me, important number. 484 belongs here. So now that opens up a few more things. As I was starting to freak out, I'm like, I can't figure anything else out. But you can, because now I can figure out that cell. So how do I figure if this plus this is supposed to add up to that? How do I get that? Hopefully you were thinking subtract. So 484 minus 235 is 249. So I'll put so I'll keep this column blue. 249. Okay, now things are opening back up. This plus this is supposed to equal that. So I bet you, how would I get this missing number? This plus this minus that, right? So you get 40 plus 161 minus 249 is 48. So this should be a 48. I'll just put it in black to match the rest of the numbers. Okay. And then the next one is here. And the last one, now you know I can just go down again, add these two guys up. 48 plus 55, and that's going to be 103. Now, when you do something like this, you want to probably just double check that you did it right. So when I add these three up, it should equal that. When I add those two, it should equal that. Those two I know are already right. Let me just double check these two. 76 plus 103 plus 305. Bam. 380. I'm sorry, 484 is what I was supposed to get. Okay. So then we had some questions regarding this. So I'm going to. All right. Let's see. I think the best way to do this. Let's go through as many as we can quickly, and you can pause in between and try to answer on your own. So how many boys sometimes wear glasses? Boys that sometimes wear glasses. What do you think it is? Boys that sometimes wear glasses. I would say 48. How many students wear glasses some of the time? How many students wear glasses some of the time? So we're looking at this column. It doesn't say boys or girls, so what do you think? 103. How many students never wear glasses? Never, doesn't say boys or girls, so how many students just never wear glasses? They don't need them. I would say 305. Are there more boys or girls at this school? More boys or more girls? I would say boys, just by a little bit. Okay, let's try not to mess this up, and that will be the end of today's video reference. So, relative frequency of boys who sometimes wear glasses. Boys that sometimes wear glasses. Boys that sometimes wear glasses. Okay, so they weren't specific, so I'm not going to mess it up this time. So I'm going to do 48 sometimes wear glasses divided by 484. So I would say the answer here is 48 divided by 484. It's about 9.9% relative frequency. So I would say, what is the relative frequency of boys that sometimes wear glasses? 48 divided by the total. for that. Now they're going to be more specific with percentages. So now we're just looking percentage of girls that never wear glasses. So we're just looking at the girls that never wear glasses. So what do you think if I look at this column? Girls that never wear glasses, what will I divide? 144 divided by 235. I would say 61.3% for that. Okay, next one. Let me zoom out so we can see the question at the same time. What's the percentage of students that are boys? Okay, so what do you think you're going to divide for percentage of students that are boys? 249 divided by the total number of kids. So that would be 249 divided by 484. So that's about 51.4%. And then the last one, what is the percentage of students that always wear glasses? Percentage of students that always wear glasses. Okay, percentage of students that always wear glasses. So always wear glasses. 76 always wear glasses. Percentage of students is 484. 76 divided by 484. So that would be, I'm going to add one more because I'm going to have you do a question with a more specific relative frequency. That's 15.7%. All right, and then the last question, I'm going to just add this in, is if you were specific with relative frequency, so I'll just put a star here. What is relative frequency of, let's be specific here. Let's try boys always wear glasses to boys sometimes wear glasses. Okay, so now I'm being more specific with my relative frequency. So basically what I just asked was boys that always wear not sunglasses, that wear glasses compared to sometimes wear glasses. So what I would do there, I would do 40 divided by 48. It's going to be over 100%, but it would be 40 divided by 48. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry. 40 out of 48 is going to be 83.3%. Okay, so you're going to see some of that in today's question. So remember, this is 2 days worth of work, so 1 hour worth of work. So that's why this was a pretty long video. So what you're going to do as part of today's assignment is you're going to go back to the bottle flip challenge. So when we left off on Friday, I don't know if D and E got to finish this table, but we did finish this table in B period. So I did put the data in here. We took the number of boys made flips and missed flips, and we made this two-way table. So for today's lesson, you're going to fill out the relative frequency, and I'll just do the actual table. So let me just do one for you, so I know you're not confused. So if you wanted to get this number right here, what do you think you would divide? Hopefully you're thinking 14 divided by 80, because these relative frequency tables are all compared to dividing by this 80. So when you do 14 divided by 80, you get this number here. Then you move decimal over to here. Getting dots on my calculate here. So 17.5% you would put in this cell. So 17.5% for that cell. Okay, so as you do the rest, I did put on the side here, and let me just show it to you in the actual. So here's the assignment you're going to get today. So like I said, right here, you're going to put 17.5%. Okay, you'll fill out this table, then you'll answer these questions. Okay, so these first questions, 1, 2, 3, and 4, are basically asking about interpreting this part, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 are more making ratios and percents. Be careful with this one, because what is the relative frequency of total made shots, made flips? What is the relative frequency of total made flips to total taken flips by the class? So total made flips to total flips taken by the class. So again, I'm trying to throw in a couple where you have to look at two different specific parts. So do the best you can on those, and you're going to put your answers right here on this sheet and then hand it in on Google Classrooms. You'll also, I think I'm going to have you come up with some data about the dress. So the dress was another viral video, like Lonnie and Laurel, but it was regarding the color of the dress. I forgot the colors, but you'll see it. And then also in your form, we are meeting on Wednesday. My hope is that we'll be meeting. So I'm starting to fill out, I can show it to you here. I'm starting to fill out this form here. And if you look, my hope is that we will be meeting, remember when Wednesday, the Hangouts will be taking place from our math classroom. So in the form, maybe if you want to share a memory of your something from 8th grade math in our classroom, funny, good, bad, just anything good so we can remember when, and that will be a good day. So again, it looks like, oh, and this is not up to date, so this is all last week's stuff, so don't even pay attention to that. I'm still working on this. Okay, have a good day, everybody, and we'll be talking soon.